Hattie's Coffee House trucker hat. I love working with Hattie's. Having a client that's a coffee house is like one of the most fun joys in life, and I love working with this client. So I'm really excited to be repping their cute merch today. I love this hat so much, and I just felt like she needed to make an appearance. Okay, anyways, enough of the chatter. I want to go ahead and get right into what we're discussing in today's video. If you are a small business owner, particularly a service-based business owner or freelancer, today is going to be a really helpful video for you because we're going to be talking about how to make you more money. And what I mean by that is we are going to be discussing how to raise your rates. There's all kinds of reasons as to why people raise their prices. A lot of times it has to do with external factors. Literally, like the state of the economy is enough reason as to why you should be raising your rates and raising your prices. So even if you're not a service-based business owner, let's say you're a product-based business owner, this stuff can definitely apply to you too. But you'll notice the cost of living is going up every year. Inflation is a big problem. Our economy is kind of crap right now. And so we need to be raising our prices. We have to. It might feel like mean in the moment to like raise your prices for your current clients, but first of all, if they're really good clients, they're going to understand and they're going to want to support you. And if they give you attitude about it, it might be a sign that maybe they need to not be working with you anyways. So I feel like a lot of us are really afraid to raise our rates because we're really scared that we're going to lose clients. And the reality is like, yes, of course, there might be some times where your client literally just has a budget issue and they can't do it, and that's okay. That's not their fault. But for clients that are going to like give you attitude about paying you what you feel like your services are worth, they might not be the clients that you really want to have. So what are some things that affect your prices, and what are some things that you should be taking into consideration when it comes to how to price your offers? So the top things I would say are, first of all, industry standards. So what is like the norm? What are people typically pricing themselves at in your industry? So I'll use myself as an example. I'm a graphic designer. So when it came to pricing my brand design services packages, I wanted to know what were other brand designers and graphic designers in my space charging. The next thing you want to consider is, again, one of those external factors, the cost of living, inflation, the state of the economy. If we are in a situation where literally every business around us is raising their prices because the cost of literally everything is going up, you should not be a business that is keeping your prices the same unless you feel like really, really strongly about like not raising your prices, whatever. I've seen people do that as a marketing tactic too, where they talk about how like everybody's raising their prices, but we're not doing that. And like for some people, that works for them. But for others that are like, hey, I'm just trying to get food on my table, you might need to raise your prices, and there's no shame in doing that. The work that you're doing is valuable. You deserve to be paid what you feel your services are worth. Do research and see what your competitors and the other people around you are doing so that you can gauge what might be the right price point to be at. You should also consider who your target audience is. Like, what is their socioeconomic status? What type of disposable income do they have? How much money is your target audience typically bringing in a year? Do they have more money to spend on like luxury items, or are they the type of person that is just trying to make ends meet? Do you need to be priced at a more affordable price point? Are you building a business that is built on offering the best affordable prices, or are you building a business that is really about top-notch quality luxury goods? Neither are better or worse than the other. It just is dependent on like who your target audience is and what types of things are you selling, or what types of services are you offering, and who are they truly meant for. The other thing that you should consider when it comes to setting your prices is the complexity of the project. Like, how much time is it going to take? How difficult is it going to be for you to perform this service? And you should also consider the budget of your client. You are going to have some clients that have much larger budgets than others. It's important to take that into consideration. For clients that you're working with that you love working with, but you know they have small budgets, it's okay to choose to work with those budgets when you can. When you're bringing in a new client, I really want you to think about what the financial capabilities are of this client and use that to gauge what you're going to price your rates at. Raising your rates can feel scary, but there's a lot of different reasons why we would be doing ourselves a true disservice if we didn't raise our rates. If you ask me, the one thing that's scarier than raising your rates is not raising them at all. When we don't raise our rates, sometimes we're going to run the risk of attracting low quality clients, like clients that don't really respect us and what we have to offer. And honestly, a lot of times when you're offering dirt cheap pricing, you're going to run into clients that treat you with less respect and demand more of your time. Like that has literally just been my experience, is that the clients that I have that pay top dollar treat me like a top dollar business. They treat me like an expert. They treat me with respect. Clients that have come in like immediately wanting to negotiate my rates and like nickel and dime me are the clients that end up demanding more of my time and quicker turnaround times and have like an impossible standard that I can never meet, and they overall just typically end up being like a nightmare client. Now, of course, there's been times where I've had clients that have just come to me and said like, hey, I really want to work with you, but I just don't have the budget. And sometimes if it's a project or a client that I still really, really want to work with, then I'll create some type of package that works for both of us. So my pricing is not always set in stone, but the whole point is that I'm not going to just set my rates like dirt cheap just to try and attract more clients, because you have to consider like what type of cues that's sending to a target audience. And sometimes like setting your prices at a really low rate actually makes your work look like it's lower quality. That doesn't mean that you have to be charging like top dollar for everything that you do, but I definitely don't want you to just like charge on the lowest end just because you think that that's going to attract you a bunch of clients. It might get more leads and more interest, but they may not be qualified leads or people that you actually want to work with long term. If you're constantly setting yourself up with dirt cheap pricing, you're also going to have a lot of problems with establishing boundaries. And if you never raise your rates, it's going to come as a shock to your clients if one day out of the blue you raise your rates for the first time and they've never had to deal with this before and they're so shocked. So it's good to go ahead and get them used to this now, where like every year, hey, these are my new rates. Here's your contract. You can go ahead and sign this to renew, and we'll resume our services as scheduled on X date. So it really should be kind of part of like the yearly routine. Like once a client has been with you for a year or at the start of a new year, that's a great time to initiate that conversation. It doesn't have to be this like gigantic jump to a much higher rate, but little increases over time can make a really big difference for your bottom line. I've seen some people do it where they increase their prices after each new project that they complete, like small little increments, like a little bit at a time. They'll just keep gradually increasing their rates. The reason why this matters is because A, it helps you reflect your true worth as a business owner, especially as you continue to grow. It also helps the perceived value and just the overall image that you have as a business owner when you are charging more for your services. Rate adjustments also enable you to invest money back into your business. And I'll also tell you that I've done a video all about how to make more money with your business in 2024. But one of the best ways to make money with your business in 2024 is to make more money with the clients that you already have. So rate increases or increasing the scope of work with current clients is a way more cost-effective way to start bringing in more income with your business than it would be for you to go out and find brand new clients. It's way easier to make more money with the clients that you already have than to go out and do business development starting from scratch with brand new clients. And one thing that I found for my business that I really had to learn the hard way is that I had taken on way too many client relationships, and the relationship management was the most difficult thing for me. It wasn't necessarily the load of projects, but the relationship management. So I determined that I'd rather have less clients, like a smaller group of clients with more time dedicated to each one. I'd rather have more projects and less clients than having lots of projects with lots of different clients, or even just a few projects with several different clients. I would much rather have a bunch of projects with like a smaller group. It's way easier for me to manage. It's a lot easier for me to keep up with client communication, and it's been way more profitable for my business. So if you're watching this and wondering when else else is a great time to raise your rates outside of the passing of time? I'll give you a few hints as to when it might be time to consider raising your rate. The first thing that I think is a really easy win and easy way to justify raising your rates is when you have completed some type of education. It could be getting your master's, it could be getting a degree, it could be going through a training or a program, it could be attending conferences or whatever it is that you're doing to increase your value. Keep learning, keep leveling up. When you've paid for something or gone through some type of program or training and you have thus increased your knowledge and done something that allows you to bring more to the table for your client, that is a great time to consider increasing your rates. I would also say that, again, with the passing of time, years of experience and volume of projects that you've taken on matter. So I would evaluate, if you're a brand designer, how many brand design projects did you do in the last year? How many brand design projects have you done in the last month? If you've done a ton and your skills have up-leveled or increased in a significant way, even if it's only been a month, it might be a really good time for you to consider increasing your prices. I started doing this in 2023 where I was taking on a ton of brand design projects, and so I just kind of slowly started increasing the prices little by little until I got to an amount that I felt like I was really comfortable with. Just a little by little with each project, I was increasing my rate and I felt more confident and I felt like I had more in my portfolio to show, and so that I was easily able to demonstrate the value behind the price that I was giving for my work. Another time where it might be a good thing to consider raising your rates is literally if you are researching your competition, if you are researching what industry norms are. Maybe you didn't take this step before, but you're doing it now and you're seeing that you're way undercharging compared to people that are in a similar space doing similar work. Raise your prices. Lastly, you should raise your rates whenever you feel like it. I know that might not sound super strategic, but truly, as a business owner, you are allowed and have the control to raise your rates whenever you feel like it. You don't have to wait until the end of the year. You don't have to wait until a certain time to raise your rates. As a business owner, you are the person that's in charge. And so I believe that it's important for us to feel like we have the power in this situation and like we are in charge. And sometimes that means raising your rates just because you feel like it. Again, that might not sound like the most strategic thing, but if you are dying to raise your rates just because you want to make more money and you feel like you can't, I just want you to remember that you are the business owner. So you are fully empowered to raise your rates whenever you feel like it, just because you want to. Whatever you do, I just don't want you to be in a situation where you're leaving money on the table for your business. I want you to remember that raising your rates isn't just about making more money, it's about reflecting your value. And I also feel like when you position raising your rates and your services and how you price for your services as an investment in somebody else's business, for example, if you are a B2B service provider where you provide services for other businesses, for me, I provide services to other small business owners that need help with their marketing. I'm basically the marketing team for these small business owners because they typically don't have the funds to do that in-house. So I am an extension of their team and I am their monthly marketing support person. And I sell these services to people. It feels really simple because I'm not necessarily viewing it from how do I get more money? Although of course that's something that we all take into consideration as business owners, but I'm truly just looking at this from an angle of how can I serve you? How can I fill in the gaps? What are the things you're doing well at and what are the things that you need help with? And that is what I feel like creates the easiest discovery calls, the easiest conversations, is when I'm not focused on money, but simply just focused on hey, I love you. I love your business. I really want to work with you. How can I help you? I have had so much success with getting new clients, literally just from approaching it in a way of how can I serve you? So of course, as business owners, we have to think about profit, but I do want you to take some time to not think fully just about yourself and how this is going to affect you. But remember that when you get a new client, you have to follow through with providing value. So whatever you're pricing yourself at, it needs to reflect your true value as a business owner and the true value of what you're going to be providing to another business. So I know we just spent a lot of time talking about ourselves, But I just want to share that to let you know that also your ideal customer or client is just as big of a deal in this equation as you are as a business owner. The way that you approach those conversations and your heart behind it matters so much. Hope this encourages you to consider raising your rate, whether it's for the new year or for months from now or whenever you do it. I hope you do it sooner rather than later, but I just want to encourage you to continue raising your rates, continue doing research, make sure that you are not the person that is way undercharging for their work. It's going to happen to all of us at some point. For most of us, we start out in the beginning way undercharging, but I just don't want you to continue undercharging for your work. So remember, raising your rates matters. It's not nearly as scary as what we think it is. What would be more scary is if we never raised our rates and never increased our earning potential. If this video was helpful, I hope you subscribe because I upload new videos weekly and I would love to have you around for the long haul to tune into all of my future videos. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye, guys.